have yard in a Grenada? When you run up and down in the yard? We in a Caribbean, we use a yard. You play marble in the yard and under the house bottom too, because them time there in Jamaica we have stilt. So the house them depend. My first sexual experience was on the house bottom. Because we have played yeah, because we used to play Dolly House. Dolly House always go on and eat the house bottom. And the weirdest thing, you know, that when you play Dolly House, the father always come home drunk. And it's that time you will take part in those things. But you ever notice, say, when you go on your yard, no yard not there, so everybody have to play up on the street. And then you are going to your yard, and your brethren have a bungler key, when no mark. So you can't find the right key for open the door. You ever notice, say, the last key open the door? And when you go inside, you still not reaching in a room, you know, our elevator. And you ever notice, say, the elevator never usually work? And you have to take the stairs with the heavy luggage. And when you go upstairs, there's another problem, you know, because them places don't have just door, you know. It's like a jail. And it have a little peephole. But Jamaican people, I don't know about Grenada, but Jamaican people, they don't know if they identify themselves, you know. No. Because when you knock on man door, you hear the man inside, who that? And the person outside say, I'm me, man. And him say, I'm me who? I'm me, man. You know, where you say, man? What the door, man? And then them always look through the little peephole. But you ever know they say, when you look through the peephole, the face outside look disfigured, like. So you still don't know it's who, you know. You have to say, who that, man? And you cuss about it. You say, what the door, man? A John, man. I say, oh, John, why never said that all the while, man? And you open the door. You ever notice, say, when you go in a black people house, them have the biggest barrel, them, where they want to send come back to the Caribbean. And it never was full yet. Because them buy the biggest barrel and the car full. And them all until they say, me I come down for Christmas. And Christmas come and you know see them. And when you see them again, them say, when I Easter? Oh, April, me I come down for Easter. And they keep filling the barrel with some like 99-cent things where nobody don't use. For those of you who go to America, please don't send no 99-cent things come to no Caribbean people. We know better than that now. We want designer things. We don't want a little 99-cent thing. $1.99. You have some 99-cent store in America. You never use them yet. And them throw them at the barrel and the barrel can't foot because we Caribbean people buy the biggest barrel. And we have the biggest sofa in our house so we're not done pay for. All the while. And we never sit down on the two seat them beside the long sofa because the long sofa is in front of the television and the two seat them is behind the door and one beside the fridge. And if you sit down in night, you can't open the fridge because you have to go inside of the fridge at any time or another if somebody sit down in night. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Black people, we find ourselves in some psychotic behavior that is delusional to our perception of reality that we don't even understand it. And we don't even know if we use the illusion. The system is a fraud. The system is a graveyard. And if you walk downtown at night, you feel for fuss and fight. And if you walk uptown, the people them frown. The system is a fraud. Some of them reach half a tree. Them start to fret already. What a day when the pendulum swing. What a day when the well run dry. And the children ask you why. And the people them a ball and sit and just a call is either you do or die. I say the system is a fraud. And you listen to the news and you get confused and you watch TV, the same thing. What a day when the pendulum swing. What a day when the well run dry. And the children ask you why. And the pit and the myth and we all live in it and the game is the same. Who is to blame? The system. The system is a fraud. I said the system is a grave. So we're there in New York still, you know. And my brethren them always live on the highest floor when the elevator not working. And you always vex because you say, Wow. Because when you reach the floor then, if you did have asthma, you know say you have asthma, you know. And the way this part of it, you know, that you can't look out of the window to get some fresh air. Because when you look out of the window, the next man's bedroom you're looking at. It's a weird way to live. Black people leave beautiful islands like these and run to America, you know. It is better to suffer in your own country than go to the next man's country and suffer. Simply. The other man's grass always look greener, you know. And when you go up on the man's grass, it's pure weed is in there. It won't bush out. So we go in America and they have this statue. It's called the Statue of Liberty. The reason why it's called the Statue of Liberty is because America loves to take liberty. That Statue of Liberty was given to the Americans by the French. So it's actually a French woman that is standing there on Liberty Island. And there's another island just next door to it called Manhattan. Manhattan was bought for $23 from the so-called Native Americans. It's the biggest real estate scam in history. $23 Manhattan was bought for, that little island that is connected by a bridge over that side and a bridge over this side. So the statue represents liberty. On that bridge, I look and see the symbol of your justice and equality, standing tall with your torch of flame. Now I ask, what is your aim? You invade Grenada, you invade Nicaragua, you bomb Hiroshima, you bomb Philadelphia, but the liberty is watching you, watching all the things you do. The eyes of justice is crying out. What is your democracy all about? The true owners of your nation is forced to live on a reservation. Now I see you in my land, making all kinds of plans, spending billions of dollars every year to keep us all living in fear. Economical pressure is your game. Liberty reaching with her torch of flame. Yes, the eyes of liberty is watching you, watching all the things you do. The eyes of justice is crying out. What is your democracy all about? Talk of invading Libya. You never talk about invade South Africa, but you invade the Sandinista government, using Jamaica as a Caribbean investment. And the Palestinian biggest resentment, terrorism is the order of the day. Where will the children play? I say you invade Grenada, you invade Nicaragua, you bomb Hiroshima, you bomb Philadelphia, but the symbol of true justice and equality stand erect for all to see, making plans for the Asians, helping to keep down the black Americans, but the eyes of liberty is watching you, watching all the things you do. The eyes of justice is crying out. What is your democracy all about? Black people is suffering from diabetes more than most people, especially in America. And this is caused by a thing named fast food. They call it fast food is that it kill you quick. Fast food, Kentucky and Burger King, McDonald's and all these places. It is what you call American cultural imperialism. That is what I call it. Kentucky.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, now know what you can even money, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, you can keep, you can even money. When you've been a corrupt in a bill tell me money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, in a bill tell me money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, now know what you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker, neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. Now I know what you can have in money. Oh, Joseph.
for life. I can't see your youth and strive. I'm not afraid, no.
Well, I don't know what situation Rickford work is in. But Rickford is capable, I can tell you that. At least that's my belief. I don't know if I'm not following the news.
When you fall behind and can't pay your bills on time, prostituting and standing in a them government line.
They don't mind.
And they don't mind when you waste your time coming up with some stupid lines, influencing the youth them to snort a line and take a life. And they don't mind when you're locked up in jail, can't get no bail, sentence for life. I can't see your youth and strive. No, they don't mind. But I'm not afraid. No, no, I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid. No, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One.
Show.
Thinking they don't know.
Where you didn't expect me to be on?
I see them coming after my soul,
trying to take control.
Wanna give me lots, wanna give me bling, wanna give me all the material things. I hear them talking about what the world has to offer. Girl, what you doing? Don't you see what they have done to Bedouin and Marcus, Jesus and all of the prophets? But I'm not afraid, no, no, I'm not afraid, no, I'm not afraid, no, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One. They don't mind when you fall behind and can't pay your bills on time, prostituting and standing in a them government line. No, and they don't mind when you waste your time coming up with some stupid lines, influencing the youth them to snort a line and take a life. And they don't mind when you're locked up in jail, can't get no bail, sentence for life. I can't see your youth and strive. No, they don't mind. But I'm not afraid, no, no, I'm not afraid, no, I'm not afraid, no, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One.
Morning, neighbor, morning. In case you're wondering, this is the Buxtonian morning time for
premium off-roading. The new GMC Sierra AT4X.
none of y'all ain't got manners. What y'all doing? Now, what's your problem? Good. Yes, in case you're wondering, this is the Buxtonian morning time for October 3rd, 2022. Yes, we're on. We got our own challenges, but we're on.
You can keep your conniving money. pocket full. In a biz there'll be morning. Now because you money, all you hustle for tell me morning.
Yes, morning, neighbor.
Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, I know what you can even morning. Neighbor, neighbor, joke on. Neighbor, neighbor, joke on. Neighbor, neighbor, joke on. This all the money that me work for. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. This is all the money that me work for.
I said, morning, neighbor.
Money, neighbor, money. Money, neighbor, money. Money, I know what you can even money.
Oh, Joseph.
Oh, Joseph, poor me. I don't know what I want with me. Oh, morning, are you morning? Welcome to another program of Buxtonian Morning Time. It's the 3rd of October. It's now 24 minutes past the 7 o'clock hour. I'm not late, I'm deliberate. What's wrong with y'all? Yeah, they can't keep a good man down, you know. Carol Jacobs said that. They can't keep a good man down. They can't keep us down. When they punch you down, what do? You get up, smile in their faces and ask, is that all you got? So I want you all to join me in asking the PPP this morning and the enablers and the hackers, is that all you got? Kams TV page has been hacked. It was disappeared from my profile. Somebody hacked it. Well, you know, I was fighting this battle for months. I did mention to you long ago that I'm fighting a battle with my page, with Kams TV page. And you all should start migrating to YouTube. I was telling you to migrate to YouTube because of this day. But you are stubborn. I is hard. Hard is picking us feel. And so there are lots of people now who can't get a show. I know that for a fact. Because we're about 1/3 of our usual viewership. And so what you have to do, you have a job to do, just as I have a job to do. Well, listen, I gotta rock back and say, listen, I'm done with this damn nonsense. They hack the page, I can't get a post on the page, forget it. No. My duty, my responsibility to you is to keep you updated as well of what is happening and to hold this nasty, stinking criminal cabal accountable by publishing all that dirty linen. And so I will continue to do that. I don't care how many hoops I have to jump through to get it done. I will do it. And since you're all here with me every morning, I expect you to want to do it too. And to want it to be done successfully. So start sharing the life. Let us double the number now. Double the number now. Share to all the groups and friends and enemies and everything that you could find. Share to them right now. I'm waiting. Because I'm not afraid. Why should you be afraid? We must fly in the face of these idiots and ask them if that's all they have. I'm on my program, boy. How might I help you? Yes, in case you're wondering, I had to take that call because that call puts food on my table. That call puts food on my table and I'm responding to some idiot. Let me see if I find the name of the damn animal. Who said Kilaki must sweat? Some fool, I noticed early this morning on the live, some fool said the days of bullyism are over. And Kilaki must go and find a J-O-B, all in caps. He was shouting. And I must sweat. Well, let me tell you something. Those who know me, know me. Those who know me, know me. I've had the fortune of having two of our viewers come and stay in my environment for a couple of days. Right? Albert Morgan, big up yourself. Albert came here at least on 2 occasions and had extended stay at Lou's B&B. And Albert can tell you that there is no morning that he got out of bed before me. As a matter of fact, there are some mornings when he might get out of bed and be looking for me. So all those of you think that I sit here on Buxtonian morning time to prostitute my education or my skill, to beg y'all for something so that y'all can make me genuflect and bend over and so on, and do your will, think again. As I start talking about this, it wasn't my intention, but I'm going to cuss this morning because I'm in the mood for cuss. If they don't aggravate me, they mess up my page. I'm going to cuss a little bit. And if you get offended, it's a matter for you. But I don't intend to offend you. I'm sharing my experiences. Right? There got some folks who would send me a $10 contribution, a $20 contribution. Right? Even a $100 contribution. For the first time out of the blues, they say, hey, I've been watching a show. You're doing a good job. I want to make a contribution. Send me the details. And when they get the details and that contribution is made, get some of them 72 hours after. And they will send me a task. Some of them will just look at it, but my eyelid and say, oh, your backside passed me. Right? I grew up learning, and they always say there's no free meal in this world. The good book that we follow, good Christians follow, say, by the sweat of thy brow man shall eat bread. When I come here in the mornings, I sweat. Because you all see me looking all presentable in the mornings, behind this camera, you don't know what I do to bring the information to you. You don't know the sleepless nights I get. You don't know the separation between myself, my children, and my entire family. You don't know how far I stay from my immediate relatives because I don't want them to link to this. So when the enemy decided they're going broke up and done, let it broke me up and done. None of y'all know the sacrifices. And so when y'all come and say, you must go look for J.O.B., kiss my black ass. I got several J.O.B. Otherwise I couldn't survive. I couldn't even maintain this. On average, let's not question this morning. I mean, don't question, some people going to identify with it. On average, there's no month in this year that contributions to this program exceed $300 US. There are more months in this year than it is less than $300 US. And I can't live on $300 US. I got recurring expenses that are more than $300 US every single month. My gas bill when the month is finished is perhaps just about a way over $300 US. So when y'all come here to talk crap, really ask yourself, is this man as low life as we make him to out to be? I mean, people see me knocking around the place looking like a like I know, because I like that. I'm a simpleton. I drive in my old Betsy, my Ram. It dent up for the past year or two. I ain't fix it. Because I got priority projects. I tell you, I'm a business, so you want to cost me, you could cost me. But children are hungry. I don't hungry. The children don't work dirty. They don't work dirty and stink. They don't beg nobody for nothing. If you see I walking around look dirty and stink, it's a chance I made. And for the most part, you can't find me walking around dirty and stink. Anytime you see me walking around dirty and stink, you're going to be Buxton. And if you see me walking around dirty and stinking Buxton, tell yourself I'm hard at work. So whoever you be, I never look for your name. Let cost generally. You could take them to the bank. And the funny thing is, I bet my bottom dollar you have never even contributed a dime to this program, but every morning you're here to learn. Talk show is a business around the world. People advertise their talk show around the world. People pay to view talk shows around the world. And in most instances, I can't get a call to comment. That's why I'm free for all. You call, you talk what you like. You text, you talk what you like. And so on. Y'all come talking crap early morning. I must go look for a job. I got a job. I got several jobs. Y'all don't know the sacrifices. I come to this program about 7 in the morning live. It started at 6 o'clock. Every morning. I'm up and about before that time. Because I have things to do before. If I'm going to survive, if I'm going to be able to put food on my table, I have to do those things before. So y'all don't come around me funny. Good. And so I have to take that call. That is one of the things which puts money on my table. And so I want to tell you how, for example, there's no month that your contribution surpass or any contribution surpass $300 US. There are people on this program who can look at themselves and pat themselves on the shoulder and say, me alone just take care of 1/3 of Dubai. So you have to do the math after. There got 20 people that has contributed to this program. And the 20 certainly don't include those who come here and tell me to get a job. I got work to do that I'd rather do in the cool. But I'm here spending my cool hours of the morning with you, and then I will go in the broiling sun and do what I have to do. Because I still gotta live. But I asked all last week, is it okay to just live in your degree of comfort and watch your neighborhood in squalor? Watch your fellow citizens living in poverty and squalor, being oppressed and suppressed and depressed? No more. Ramroop is telling me, don't fret, I choose that job. How the fuck, excuse, how is a job? How suddenly is a job, Ramroop? How is a job? And people telling me here, go and look for a job. How is a job suddenly? You have double standard, you are just like the stinking dirty PPP. It's not a job. But when I'm pointing out the sacrifices, it suddenly becomes a job. Ramroop, you gotta be a damn jackass. Don't fret, you choose that job. So, it's a job when it suits you. I know I chose it. And then I started and I said to everybody, I was actually encouraged to find ways and means for people to send contributions to me. And it's that kind of felt I don't want people to throw at me and throw in my face. That's why I kept it that way for quite a long time. Y'all remember, flashback, How long y'all had to beg me to, Mr. I must find where let me contribute is our struggle too. There are two things I don't like do. Beg and say thanks. Thanks and please. That thing bores me. I've learned over a period of time to say thank you. But please, that's still a bother for me. So I generally don't come and beg you for nothing. Y'all recognize that? Every once in a blue moon, I remember, but wait, we got a program and only some people contributing. Why not tell the others that they too will contribute? Huh? 500, 600, 700, 800 persons viewing. 750 of them, 60, 70, 80 of them are freeloaders. Always full of opinion. Got a lot of trash to throw at you. Right? Like this idiot. One time is a job and next time is not a job. We all want really blood. Y'all ain't gonna mind. I took this on and I said from the inception, hey, I'm going to do this. Because there are people, there must be someone who can fight in this society to hold this government accountable. Can you imagine the emotional stress and strain of doing this? Let's just show you out. 25 contracts give out in this Buxton village for 25 bridges to small contractors. I have a registered construction business since 2003. You're telling me that if I had gone up from where I am, walked into Buxton Temporary Hall, sat down and meet with Edgel among the small contractors, I was not going to get a contract? I guarantee you I didn't get in a contract. At that time, they might have had to find 25 bridges, 26 bridges. Right? But I guarantee you, I was going to get a contract. I guarantee you right now that if I decide to go and love up with the PPP, I am going to get contracts. Is that what I want? I would love to do some contracts. But I'm not going to sell my people and my dignity to do contracts. And it is an insult for any government to come to me and tell me, or come to my community and say, I have to meet with all of the contractors in this village. I will dump all of them in a basket called small contractors, and so they will get jobs. I am fighting for a government that will say every contractor deserves a fair chance at tendering and getting any job that they set their eyes on. That's what I'm fighting for. St. James get contract for money, hundreds of billions and millions of dollars. You ever heard they contracted in anything, any construction? They got people in this village who are currently doing contracts as part of the 25 contracts. As far as I know, they must never build a sty, as we say, pig pen. But this government would like to say we give you. I don't like to get on the questionable circumstances. My life is an open book. And so I know when I come and struggle, they can't say I compromise. You gotta watch him out. Right? And y'all ain't getting with the program. Y'all ain't got an understanding of what is happening in this society. And I like when I talk to people on the roadside and so on, because they help me to understand that we don't understand crap. Yesterday, one of my good Buxtonian friends talking about the coalition and do nothing for black people. Same song singing. The PPP building 25 bridges in the village. When I raised the quality of the bridges, and I said if the PPP was really serious about development in this year, 2022, they would have built concrete bridges. The individuals say we gotta take what we get. No! And that is the problem in the society. People believe that they have to take what they get. Why do you have to take what you get? When you're supposed to be the owners of the resources. And you got a small group of people who are there, custodians, and taking the best of it. And you got to take what you get. That's why we live in this shithole country. And our communities are shitholes. Because people support the attitude of governments like the PPP. So long as they can take what they get. I repeat this, last week I said that because of sacrifices that myself and others made to be on the protest line and demand, 25 bridges came to Buxton to be done. But if those people who sat with Ejil as contractors had continued the protest, you could have had 25 bridges of quality being done. Number one. And number two, you could have had 10 or 15 persons doing those bridges as small contractors, and the government forced to find bigger jobs for bigger contractors. Can you imagine contractors who I know in this village having taken on multi-million-dollar contracts, hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts, bringing themselves down low to accept a contract for 5 feet bridge, accept a contract for 8 feet bridge, accept a contract for 10 feet, 12 feet bridge. When you're accustomed to doing contracts, or you were accustomed to doing contracts for 200 million and 250 million and 60, 70, 80 million, you allow this apartheid government to throw you in a basket, call you a small contractor, and dash a contract at you for 1.8 million. That's an insult that you accepted. You're prepared to sell your dignity for that? And your reputation? That's what a lot of y'all expect me to do. I ain't gonna do it. Every month I pay on this program. Every month I pay to host this program. The internet fee is in excess of $15,000. The internet security fee is in excess of $50 US. I think it's 25 monthly. Right? The streaming software is about $25 monthly. Good? So, y'all don't come wrong me funny. If I didn't have a job, I couldn't afford to do this. If I was prepared to settle for less, I would not have been doing this. I'd have been drinking warm, thin, sour soup from around the PPP table. A lot of people are happy with that. I'm not happy with that. I can't be happy with that. And I am in my comfortable life. Can I be happy sitting and watching others suffer around me? You think I gotta fight? I'm obligated to fight. I am bound to fight for that to wind that 5 feet bridge that they're building into the burial ground. dead yet. I'm not dead, there's not a problem. They're going to decide how they're going to fetch me over the 5 feet bridge. That's not a problem. But if I sit and I think about it like that, how am I improving my society? You think I am bound to tell you that I got a multi-million-dollar fraud at the NDC? My taxes don't go there, at least directly. I don't pay property tax at NDC. I don't pay for lands and buildings at NDC. I pay for the Buxton NDC. And so if I should say, that's not my business. When it affects Buxton, I'm going to talk about it. How are we making a better society? Am I bound to get into my vehicle and go to Victoria and Beirut and Dazzle and Westler Penitence and all Golden Grove and all the other places I go to highlight issues? I'm not bound to. But how am I contributing to the betterment of my society if I just sit in my comfort zone and say, well, hey, they're not affecting me? Am I bound to call out Satire Girl when she's screwing up the education system? I passed secondary school. My eldest child has completed university. My school-age child is in 5th form. And I'm sure between her brother and I, we can teach her everything that she needs to know. Or even if we can't teach her, we can afford to pay for her to go to lessons. So really and truly, I should be fretting over the education system and complaining about what's happening in the schools. No, I could deal with that in a more comfortable way. But I'm making a contribution to improving the quality of life for everybody in this society. Because when I cuss Satire Girl and tell she should do a stupidness, and she makes an effort to improve it, every child in the education system will benefit. MDs who come here and tell me find a job. MDs, trenches who come here and tell me the PPP gonna be in government forever. Y'all don't recognize they gotta benefit from my sacrifices? And at least gonna be thankful? Right now, the Dunson Education Minister, Satire Girl, and all of the PPP cabinet are mucking up the education system in this country. Our children were out of school for 1 month already because of their incompetence. Those children who were going to grade 7 are now scheduled to go to school today. In a country where our money is flowing, where government can take people's money and sponsor carnival, and sponsor cricket, and sponsor all things that make no sense in this society. Those 7th grade students are now being told in a whole lot of schools around this country that they have to attend school on shifts. Because they do not have adequate furniture in the classrooms for them. And they do not have adequate space accommodation in the schools for them. And so they have to attend school on shift. Friendship Primary and East Bank, school on shift. Some will go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The others will go Tuesday and Thursday. 1 week, and then it alternates the next week. What are we talking about? In 2022, when this country is flush with our money, flush with resources, our children have to go to school on shift? When even in the 80s, when things were so bad, it wasn't happening? Going to school on shift system started under the PPP government of past and continues under the PPP of present. potential secondary. I understand they're going to be taking in about in excess of 200 students today with no place to put them. But Setera girl, Pygmy, go get drive to school in Prado, possibly with Outrider. The front guy, Pygmy, go get drive to school in Prado, possibly with Outrider. And security at the school gates. But here we are, the oppressed and downtrodden, going at each other's throat for these criminals and their offspring to continue to walk on our backs and suck the marrow out of our bones. Like I said, I could rock back. I don't give 3 damns about that. But how does that benefit me? When I rock back and the children in our communities don't get a proper education, they become thieves and vagabonds. And the very people who force them into a life of failure and poverty are the very people who will cast aspersion to them at them and say, them black man like thief, them black man are like walk, what's going to church by them? I owe it to myself and my community to stand up and ensure that doesn't happen. And so when you hear me on Friday say, I ain't going past a certain time with this program because I got my children to go and feed, it's because I got them as a priority. I can't feed them every day, Monday to Friday. God knows I wish I can afford it. But if I attempt to do it every day, it is going to affect me because cost, time is money. I will have to lose more time to get it done. I'll have to lose financial resources, more financial resources to get it done. And so, by overextending myself, I will be impoverishing myself. I will be of no service to them and this community and you if I'm in poverty. And so, up until now, I'm sticking to it on Fridays. But I guess you all see the greater value of me even doing it. Yeah, I just feel. I like feed people. There's a value to feeding them. If our children are nourished, then they can focus in the classroom. They're going to get better grades. They get better schools when they write the examination. And with continued support system, they come out, as we like to say, bat in hand. It's less problem for the society I live in. But you got Dunson education minister that can't even see them. Right? You can't even see them. You can't see them. I know what something I can't see too, like Kerry Perry, who telling me about the dyslexic, autistic, fat guy dancing on stage with Michelle Montano. Is he named Montano or Michelle? Whoever, Michelle. Adam Mackey. Right? What I can't see is instead of using the money to improve the conditions of the people and the citizen, they're using the money to give you a false sense of hope and security by concerts and carnivals and bacchanal. You're going to be happy for a day, happy for 2 days. And in the long run, your children are suffering. They got furniture in the schools. The hundreds of millions that the government contribute to hosting carnival and bacchanal for the president to politic with. Because if you don't recognize it as the PPP campaigning through these things, then you don't understand crap. The hundreds of millions that are taken to wage political war against you, the citizens of this country, could be used to improve the lives and livelihood of the people in this nation. And better yet, improve the conditions under which our children get an education. You can't see that. But when the president don't jump his ass on stage, like just what he is, a clown, every damn fool is on social media talking. The president is the realest thing, is the best president Ghana ever had. Well, if that is the best president Ghana ever had, I am living among some of the worst dunces in the country, in the world. Because if you deem the best president and the realest president for jumping up on a carnival stage, they say, one I man a king of blind eye country. And Ali is certainly king in a country of dunces. That's what you're judging a president on? From bottom up to this day remains the best president this country has ever seen. In my opinion, you are entitled to yours. A formidable education system was established under him. Ghanaians were respected across the world as the most educated. Healthcare system, manufacturing sector, security system, institutions were put in place to cater for every young child. Because if you don't want to take academic, you're going to go to the skills, the technical training centers, the national service. That is what presidents do, or governments with the people's interests at heart do. Under this corrupt administration 23 years ago, and currently, the very system that the best president this country has ever seen had put in place, they dismantled. Go check the multilateral schools. They are multilateral in construct. But you go and check their technical education department, under-equipped, ill-equipped, or not equipped at all. And you telling me this autistic chap is the best president we ever had? A man who can pronounce simple words and put simple sentences together, compared to all the others who could have spoken off the top of their heads, as if they swallowed a dictionary, and this is the best president y'all ever had. But I know why we're in this problem. Because we have the biggest population of dunces as citizens. I have no apologies to make for it. It is a fact. A whole large percentage of the population are young people, especially who praising Ali and his nonsense and the PPP and the foolishness. They're dunces. They grow up on the satire girl, no child left behind. And so they can't even reason. So they can't tell what is wrong and what is right. You live in a society where in the 21st century, 2022, in 2022, citizens are not free to express their opinions on the behavior of government. They attack you left, right, and center. Kams TV page hacked and destroyed or whatever, because we come here and we address issues related to government. If I don't put up the necessary safeguards, the program gets disconnected every second. In 2022, you're dealing with a government who doesn't believe in freedom of expression. In 2022, citizens wanting to protest the constitutional body to say you're not doing the right thing are barricaded and prevented from going close by police. and you see the man who is sitting in the seat of president as being the best this country has ever had? In as much as we cuss Granger and call him one of the weakest presidents this country has ever had, his government never interfered with protests. His government never tried to hack and take down opposition pages on social media. But we relegate him to the dustbin of history and call him this jackass the best president this country has ever seen because he could jump on a stage, albeit out of rhythm and everything else. What does that make us? In 2022, a society where if every now and again I turn on my music a little hard, neighbors over at Annandale call the police to say, hey, this man disturbing me. And the police will come running. But every living night on Sheriff Street, they got 2 mobile Teslas, Choice and Lisas or whatever they call it, bombarding or creating conditions for residents around the area to be bombarded with loud music. And every time these people are calling to the police to get some peace, to get some rest, and no corrective actions are taken. Instead, they're getting phones hung up in their ears. In 2022, when I sent several of those videos of complaints to the WhatsApp number of Clifton Hickens, the man that says Commissioner of Police, and they're not even getting acknowledgement, and those people continue to live in turmoil, discomfort. We're saying we got the best president that this country has ever seen. Well, we are some of the biggest dunces around the world. In which other country would a fast food joint, a mobile, whatever you call it, be allowed to operate from 6 in the night till 6 in the morning? Or 7 in the morning, depending on the day of the week, and bombard the community with loud music? Months ago, we had a fete at the BUXTON bar, they call it. The place where everybody want to go to. The oil place. Y'all see me, I don't remember trash. Dubai. Welcome to Dubai, at night in Dubai, in BUXTON. They got till about 9 o'clock the next morning, bombarding the people with loud music. People telling the railway line complain how they couldn't sleep. And the police dare not upset it because it's one of the president's man. And we got the best president in the world. Or the best president this country has ever seen. A president of lawlessness, corrupt and criminal associations. But is the best president. Y'all give me a break. 7 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. They say, why should I do first or do last? Those people who were expecting Kams Saturday rhythms couldn't happen last Saturday. Those people who were expecting the walk in Wrestler Penitence couldn't happen last Saturday. Those people who were going to expect me to be protesting this week, it wouldn't happen. I am mourning the death of my aunt. She was the mother of Dion Abrams. Y'all know Dion Abrams from Groundings. Walter Rodney Groundings in Channel 9. And Annandale Secondary and wherever else you know him from. Mirondoy and so on. Yes, that same Dion Abrams. He's my first cousin. So he is mourning the death of his mother. I'm mourning the death of my aunt. The only programming I'm going to be doing from now until after she's buried is Buxtonian morning time. Don't expect me to go anywhere and do any live. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to be protesting. I'm not going to be hosting any entertainment programs. None of this sort. Right? Keep that in mind for me. You're the regulars. You know who are the people who are usually on this program, Buxtonian morning time. Share the information with them. They can join us on Kams TV on YouTube or on SAGE, Society for African Guyanese Empowerment. That's the page I'm currently broadcasting from, along with YouTube. Right? So that's how they're going to get the program in. Outside of that, there are those people who have me on WhatsApp contact. I've been trying to send the link to them. Some who I miss have been contacting me for the link. That's how we're going to build back this platform. I have to jump through hoops to get back Kams TV page. I am willing to try, but honestly, I really don't have that time. I don't have the temperament right now. I'm not at that emotional and psychological state to have to go through all these hoops to start out a Facebook page. So I don't know when I'll attend to that, if ever. And you know, life is funny. I want to say this. And these are experiences you get all the time. You learn. There's some people who were benefiting, and I dare say financially from the use of Kams TV page. Because there are people who are into the business of live streaming. And if somebody is going to hire you to do a live stream for them, the wider the audience you can reach, the better you can bargain. And so I had at least one person on this page who was benefiting from that kind of relationship, because he would call and say, I got to do this live stream. I got to do this press conference for Tom, Dick, Harry, or Joan. Will you allow me to stream on your page? Yeah, man, no problem. Go stream. Not at a cost, you know. Just go stream. Not you're going to give me a contribution when you're done. Just go stream. That person has extensive knowledge in dealing with these things. And I said to them over the weekend, we have lost the page. It has been hacked. There's a process to be gone through to get it back from Facebook or wherever. I want you to take care of it. Can you? I haven't seen a response from them yet. Right? My guess is I'm not going to get a response. But now I talk about it, somebody might tell them, hey, your name calling. Right? Hey, your name calling. And I might be willing to come then. And sometimes I share these things so that people understand that it's not everybody in the boat with you that will always be rowing in the same direction with you. Or they will row in the same direction with you for as much that there's a benefit for them directly out of that. But a lot of people are not willing to do anything for the name of community, the name of cause. It is how does it affect my pocket. The late Namila Baines, Henry Rowe, and all the other names we used to call her, used to say to me, Kidaki, you have to understand people. For the most case, they ask, what is in it for me? Right? And I live that experience and I see it every day. The lines are open. 622-5933 is the number to call. is the number to call. Call and let's talk a thing. Shortage of furniture in the education system when Guyana is flush with financial and other resources. I saw Village Voice said that Satire Girl and the ministries continue the Granger feeding program. But I don't hear of that feeding program happening in Buxton. At least not yet. Unless I don't have my ears to the ground close enough. But so far I've heard of no discussion that this feeding program is happening in Buxton. What happened? Buxtonian children don't have need for breakfast and lunch too. It's taxpayers' money. Bring it and let us refuse it. If you think we're going to refuse it, you bring it, man. Let us refuse it. Michelle Jones, I know you know the person. Corey Live, good morning.
Good morning, Kadakim. I would like to firstly extend my condolences to you and your entire family. Saturday when I came home, I was out, and when I got in very late, I noticed it, and I did put up a comment, send you a sympathy message. Anyway, about the move to YouTube, I had to learn all over again, and I'm with you in the struggle. Now, I noticed yesterday, this morning on the Facebook, while I was getting to you, about the carnival, the parties, and all kind of things that the nation enjoyed, mainly the African people. And I put in a comment, you see how y'all come out to this here, but y'all don't come out and protest with all the ills that is affecting them in the community. As soon as you got things like this, the black people go out there in the droves and support. And then come today, the skin in the teeth and the talking out things bad, all the punishing, and the can't put thing in the children lunch kit. And the children got to go to school and be embarrassed and degraded to collect them the type of things what they're offering to them to eat. Now children are funny people. When you show a child that they got to live to the bottom of the barrel, they got to survive on scraps, some of them might say, you know what, we gonna go through the life at this same junk, this same type of thing, scraping anybody through off his own. While some other children are being motivated to say, you know what, we wouldn't stay at the bottom. We must strive to get to the middle, if possible the top, and they're going to work for it. And when you sit down and you talk to parents and you try to tell them these things, they look at you as a hater and a racist. So they have got to know. And I will be keeping my ears to the ground to attend the funeral. Other than that, I want to bring to the entire viewing audience, my harassment has begun since the story in the court. I was on the road and the woman came up and she started her harassment. I did not have my phone and I will not have a phone because right now I'm sporting a laptop and I'm not going to walk with it to take her picture. And when I'm going to carry it to the station, they said that I am cyberbullying her again. But I am going to be looking to somewhere for some type of help because I cannot continue my life. By the time the case was in the court, was peace. But since the magistrate could tell me I got to pay this $500,000 fine, and I have people of standing who is going to pay this fine for me, my life has digressed back to what it was prior to that case.
Rhonda.
So that is how things stand.
Rhonda.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask you something. You believe you could beat this woman?
Kadaki, I don't know.
Rhonda, you not assess this woman physically already. Do you think you could beat her?
I don't know, Kadaki. I don't know.
You know, sometimes all you have to do is to get some peace is be prepared to pay a fine for cutting her ass.
No, well, but if I do the no, the magistrate might send me to prison for the balance of my natural life.
Rhonda, you don't go to prison for the balance of your natural life for beating people.
Okay.
Right? Especially if you beat them with your fist. They can't say it's attempted murder or anything. It's a fist fight. That's why I want you to take up a piece of iron and beat you. Scramble you, man.
Okay.
I mean, people in the program want to say promoting violence and so on. But some people simply got to give them a good beating. Have a good day. Unless you have something else to talk about. You know, in the name of peace, you just go about your business. You just bite your tongue. As I said, you might tell you chew mark stick because you want problems with people. But how much more can somebody take? And in 2022, when the police is supposed to be impartial and unbiased, this woman has been complaining of how many reports she has made to the police over time. Instead of them acting on it, instead of her getting justice, instead of her getting peace, she ended up in front of the court for cyberbullying. Then you see the frustration that might have led her to that if she did it. She is now faced with a $500,000 fine. And this person is at her harassing her again. No, sometimes we just got to be prepared to do what we got to do. Call A Life, good morning.
Morning, Kadaki, and condolences to you and your family. Morning, Guyana. I do believe that, and I've said this to myself before, I think it's official that a lot of the African Guyanese in Guyana have lost their mind. They'll come out for, one stinking Guyana carnival cricket. And like it was explained, when you come out and ask them question, they think you're racist or whatnot because it's official. They are simply, and I like to use this term, very stupid and simply just don't understand the dire needs we're in. There's so much to things that are happening and it just seems like nothing is being done. Like you've said to Rhonda, at some point, you got to cut their ass. Now, as a political party and as a people, we've been taking too much licks and we refuse to give it back out. And I've said this before, the only way the racist holy people are going to understand is if you bust their ass. If you can't live in peace, they cannot also live in peace. Over and over again. But apparently, we got this stupid lobe in our brain that want to pray that the racists are going to do things better. I mean, you got Claudette Singh, the DPP who is the PPP, Ali Shak. You've got Ramson Jr. We've got so much, but yet still we follow these people all around each day, thinking they're the best thing since sliced bread. Come on. I've been saying this. How long I've been saying, come on, black people. How stupid can you be to buy into this bull partying? We officially love partying and don't care anything about else. Give them rum, give them whining, and then we can actually take over their minds and brains. Stupidity rules Guyana, and especially the African Guyanese. How are they going to accept $2 million per bridge and think, well, that's what we get and that's what we're going to take? Isn't that stupid? Crumbs being thrown at you while these people are getting away with billions of dollars stealing. And we just sit down there and say, buy what we can do. It's way past time we start cutting some coolie ass, and that's my take.
Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Where are you there, morning? Are you morning? Share the live. That's all I'm asking you to do. Share the live. Y'all know by now. Or y'all should know by now. Listen, I'm surprised that people still are calling me this morning to say, I'm not getting your program. I didn't see it yesterday. And I didn't see it today. And so on and so forth. I'm looking for it today. You know why? Because people are sharing. People are not sharing. People are not sharing information. Yesterday, I sat here when I normally would not sit here and share. I shared, I messaged, I shared, and so on, so that people can get access to the program. Let me remind you that my original Kams TV page was hacked. It would seem as though my profile was hacked because the Kams TV page was removed from my profile. And I therefore can't post on it. I've been encouraging you for months to migrate to YouTube, to Kams TV. Same KAMS TV, just on YouTube. Right? That's all I've been asking you to do. And so, if you're really an ardent follower of the program, you should remember that. And I think even now, if you look for Kams TV on Facebook, you're likely to find a page, a Kams TV page on Facebook, because I created one last night. Or I should say I recreated one last night. Good? So even if you look for Kams TV on YouTube, and you don't find it there, but you should find it there, and you go to Facebook and you look for Kams TV, you will find this new one, and the live is on it right now. The live was shared to it. I also mentioned yesterday that I am broadcasting on SAGE, Society for African Guyanese Empowerment. That's the page I'm using currently to do this live from. And so you're telling me, for 2 years or so, we have been together doing this program, doing Kansas Saturday Rhythms. Are you saying to me that you don't have a quote-unquote friendly connection with anybody that was looking at this program with you for 2 years? All you had to do, first, if you come on the program, you don't see them, you tag them. Number one. Number two, even if you look at the program, you don't tag them, when you get off, you message them, hey, Amsterdam said XYZ. This is how you're going to get the program as of now. But like I said, and I don't know, I might be in discussing mood for quite a while, so who can bear it, you know, perhaps they say you can't stand the heat in the kitchen run. Right? Some people just come here, tune into the program, and that's it for them. They have no interest in sharing it so other people get the same information they're getting. They have no interest in contributing a dime for its upkeep. All they're interested in is cussing the host on behalf of the PPP, etc. Right? This is our thing. Keep that in mind. It is our thing. I am doing the work. I'm doing the heavy lifting and so on. But the least you can do is help others to get access. Right? That's all I'm asking you. And even if you're contributing to the financial upkeep of the program, you still have a responsibility. Share it. It's your investment. What else can I do? What do I want to do, man? I certainly can't sit here for 6 and 7 hours trying to reach people individually. I can't. I won't. Because then I will not be doing my JOB. And I'm reminded that I have to get a JOB. There's several things I have to fulfill on a daily basis so that I can eat. I fashion them around this program. I give this program morning priority. Everything else that I have to do either gets done before this program or after this program. And so it's unfair to expect me to sit here 5-6 hours after the program trying to share information for people to get the program. Nah, it can't work. Simply can't work. Right? All of us are in this struggle. And if you're here for entertainment, and entertainment only, fine by me. Just be entertained. I can't do anything with that. That's exactly what the government is giving you anyhow. Entertainment. Handkerchiefs. That's what the government is giving you anyhow. And a lot of you seem to be happy with your entertainment. So maybe that is what eases your burden. I can't do anything about that. But all I'm asking is that you share. Now, what do I want to talk about this morning? And I'm talking about it already, quite frankly. The selfishness of people. The selfishness of human nature. We don't behave, we don't have community in our mind, it would appear. I mean, I'm making a broad statement. A lot of people would say, Mr. Amsterdam is generalizing, I'm offended. Well, like I said, the social scientist usually talks about the majority. It would appear as though the majority of people are selfish in their thinking. They only think about self. They don't think about community. And let me teach you how some social studies. When a child is born, he's born into a family, he or she is born into a family. The family is the first school for that child. That is where socialization begins. What that family teaches that child, for the greater part, is what will take that child throughout life. So things like sharing, things like caring, things like consideration for others, those are important elements of the socialization process. Helping that child to feel secure in the family circle, to understand that if things go wrong, they can turn to the family for help and support. Those are important elements of the socialization process. Helping that child to understand that no man is an island. This is not about you alone. This toy is yours. But you exist in a family. And so any member of this family should be able to share your toy with you. Or you should be willing to share your toy with your family members. Just as your family members should be willing to protect you and look out for your well-being, you should do the same. And so when you're taught like that, when you now are exposed to the wider society, these are things you already have in your mind. This might be mine, but I'm a member of a society. And if what I have can be used to uplift my society, to protect my society, to defend my society, to improve the quality of my society, then why not? And if every individual is socialized in that way, to recognize, as the American president say, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Ask yourselves, not what my community can do for me, or what my family can do for me. What can I do for my family? And what can I do for my community? Start there before country. Because families make communities. Communities make neighborhoods. Neighborhoods is what gives rise to the country. You ain't got no country unless you got families and communities to start with. Country you got a landmass. And so let's start in our homes, in our families, and in our communities, to recognize that we have a responsibility to look out for and help each other along the way. Yeah, development coming. And I'm glad, because you're going to force out some people with certain lazy mentality out of this community. Where they going to go? I'm glad I win the lotto. I'm going to go buy the biggest house and left me whole family, my brothers and sisters living in the slum. I'm going to sleep with all them Spanish woman. Spanish boy, Spanish! I'm stepping up. Mentality. I strike it rich boy. You want black friends? mentality. Because in as much as you don't pay attention to it, your mere existence so that you could win a lotto, so that you can strike it rich, so that you can get elevated in life, comes from the fact that you started in a family, you started in a community. That community at some point in time must have supported your family, their existence, so that they can bring you into existence. But when you look around this Guyanese society, and when you look among black people in particular, it would appear as though we have no recognition of where we started from. We have no recognition, we have no allegiance to family, we have no allegiance to community. And some people might say, I am playing the tune of the horse died on. But I got 25 contractors that got 25 bridges to build in Buxton. And that was only possible because people made sacrifices. People stood in the sun and chant down the wicked and vindictive and apartheid government. And forced them to sit with Buxtonian contractors and chart a way forward, although it is not the ideal way. Because when Buxtonian contractors were supposed to continue the fight that others started, they dropped the ball. And so all of them are small contractors. None of them in medium, none of them in large. All of them got minuscule minds. They could only build small bridges, small timber bridges. They can't build big concrete bridges. They can't take on mega projects. That's all they know about, footpaths. At least there's the impression they give a Jill, because they can sit down at the Tipperary Hall and listen to what Jill say and agree to what Jill say, as far as I'm concerned. And so you got a situation in Buxton now where 25 bridges are being done by 25 Buxtonians. But the bridges are of questionable design. For example, I said it before, a 5-foot bridge leading into a burial ground where the casket is 2.5 feet. You have a situation where the Neighborhood Democratic Council, although controlled by the PPP, doesn't have a singular document from the ministry that is executing this project in Buxton to say, well, this is the scope of work. This is what is expected to be done to each bridge by each contractor. And so since there's no allegiance to community by the contractors, and there's no allegiance to family by the contractors, and there's no allegiance to anything decent by the contractors, you got people running to Mr. Amsterdam to tell him, Mr. Amsterdam, I want you to go and look. Some of these contractors are using back old material on these bridges. But these very people who come into Mr. Amsterdam to complain about contractors using back old material on what is believed to be new bridges don't have the guts to confront those very contractors and say, hey, this is ours. This is in our community. You are a member of this community. You have a blasted responsibility to do the right thing. But I run into Mr. Amsterdam. Yeah, Mr. Amsterdam is at last. Mr. Amsterdam must hold up the world. Mr. Amsterdam must face all of the risk to ensure your comfort. Who got my back? Because I bet you, by the end of this program, Mr. Amsterdam will be able to couture in Buxton, because he's talking about contractors using back old material to build bridges in Buxton where they are residents, and where because of the sacrifices of Buxtonians and others on the protest line, they get contract. Where is the allegiance? Where's the responsible thinking? Do I blame contractors alone? No, everybody looking for dollar. Everybody will do as the government do, be corrupt. But how do we stop that corruption? By being vigilant. We be vigilant and we hold the government accountable. We be vigilant and we hold our family members and villagers accountable. But how am I supposed to hold a contractor accountable for a bridge that he's building when I don't even know what the scope of work says? When the local authority doesn't have a single copy of the contract signed between the central ministry and these 25 contractors, how is the NDC supposed to do its supervisory and fiduciary duties to ensure that the citizens, the residents of this community, and citizens of this country get value for money? And we got all kinds of jackasses who come here every morning to tell us the PPP is the best government and Ali is the best president, as autistic as he is. Y'all tell me. So this morning, we got a situation where bridges are being built in Buxton by Buxtonians. But their conduct is being questioned. Maxim say I could send, anyhow, that hold me peace. Common decency will say that since the NDC is responsible for works in the area, supervision in the area, the contracts would have already been delivered to them. So when they get a complaint that, listen, the bridge that is being done at Noble Street is substandard, they can look at the scope of work, turn up to the work site and say, Mr. Contractor, according to this scope of work, you're supposed to be using 18 by 12 beams. We see that you have 12 by 12 beams. This is not in keeping with the scope of work. Mr. Contractor, according to the scope of works, the bridge at Noble Street is supposed to be covered with decking 12 by 2. And what you have here are 10 by 2 deckings. This is not in keeping with the scope of work. But how can they do that if they have not been given the scope of works? The NDC representative, overseer, and councillors and everybody have to sit there and twiddle their thumb. Because guess what? None of them ain't got a gumption to first and foremost stop every contractor from interfering with the bridges that fall under their jurisdiction. None of them ain't got a gumption. They will not do it. They will not issue a cease order. And as the NDC representatives, they have that authority. The overseer has the authority to stop any works being done in the neighborhood. But the overseer will not stop it, because the overseer will study that I will lose my job. Nor do they have the gumption to call the ministry of the Fisher Bishop and say, unless we get the documents that will help us to properly overlook this job, we are going to go to the media or we're going to stop the work. No, we ain't got people with balls in this country anymore. We ain't got people with the capacity to think about what is right and wrong. And we ain't got people with spine to stand up and say, if it is wrong, I will stand up against it. But we also don't have people with decency. Because assuming that these allegations that are being made against the contractors, that they are robbing taxpayers by deviating from the scope of works, they got decency. They got consideration for community. They got consideration for the very families. Because everywhere will happen. Everything has a lifespan. And even if you wake up a bridge and the beams, which were there for 40 years, look firm enough to take another set of decking, yes, it will take another set of decking. But in another 10 years, the beams will go. Because they got a lifespan. And when the government is approaching another 10 years to say that this bridge has deteriorated, they're going to say, well, we fixed this bridge 10 years ago, and it is supposed to have a lifespan of 40 years. We're going to come back in 30 years. The community suffers. The contractor goes smiling to the bank and the whole houses in Georgetown. And the community is left holding the shitty end of the stick. Because the big bad bully minister doesn't see it fit to consult with the residents, much less the representatives of the people in the neighborhood democratic councils. Yeah, Mark Simpson, they could run me out of Buxton. Then they run Christ out of where? Is Nazareth he get run out of in the mother belly? And he go and she go and get bought in Jerusalem or something, so? Yeah, let me, I don't remember Bible stories, but I know Christ they get run out even before he was born. And he are still holding up as a savior. They nail you up on stakes according to the Bible. But you are still only a savior. So what? They say a prophet is never honored in his own land. I don't call myself a prophet. I speak for what is right and what is wrong. And so what if they run me out? They didn't run me out before though. Yeah, when the PPP had Buxton in turmoil, in the times of trouble in the 2000s, when the Phantom Squad was going wild and the murder squad and killing squad and the police, everybody was camping out in Buxton, whether as a hideout or whether as law enforcement or whether headhunter or whether executioner. Yeah, I had to run out of Buxton. Because on the 30th of August, they murdered my brother. And so I ran out of Buxton. But I can tell you I outlive a lot of them. I can't say all of them because I know there are some of them who are still lurking in the dark. And they're friends with the government too. You see them hugging up and greeting in public places with the government. The best president that this country has had. All of his criminal friends and cronies believe so too. So what, Mark? It ain't gonna be a fuss. It ain't gonna be a last nighter. They got enough other people gonna run out so long as they stand for what is right. I ain't got enough problem with that. You see the government concocting all kind of stories to run Rickford Burke out at the business because he always in the business. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I sleep well at nights because I know I've done my duty to humanity. And for the greater part, I can say I have not caused harm to humanity. That's all that matters to me. You want to run me out? Come no man. You know where to find me. Right? It's as simple as that. We like mediocrity. We like corruption. We facilitate it. When you talk about timber bridges being built, a lot of people ask you, why what's wrong with you money that make? You think I didn't know that if you build concrete bridge, you ain't gonna look after that in a long time, and so they ain't got no more money for come out for them. Indian friends of the government ain't got what to sell if you do concrete bridges. They're gonna sell cement and steel and stone. But then they got to wait a very long time to sell again. You see, sometimes I don't like go down a certain road. Let me lie to y'all. How many black people y'all know got lumber yard? I got 100 acres of land in Barbies River. Since the coalition was in office, since Raphael Trotman was in charge of natural resources, forestry, I think Simona Broom's been over there, so. I wrote a letter to the forestry officer, whoever it was, requesting permission to harvest. This is a special mining land. Requesting permission to harvest wood from it. I never got an acknowledgement letter. I never got a permission. I never got nothing. Because again, I recognize value. All right, the investment to mine this land might be exhaustive. Not easily acquired. But hey, in the meantime, we're going to clear to mine anyhow. So why don't we start clearing this lumber? We could open a lumber yard, we could sell it, and that might contribute to our capital and so on. No. No response. Right? I'll know. Land is there, trees are there, wood is there. But come back to the question, how many black people got lumber yards? How many black people are into the timber trade? Some of them might be harvesters. Some of them might be laborers in the trucks that's hauling. Well, how many of them really got concessions for harvesting timber in this country? How many of them got sawmills? Or should I say how many of us got sawmills and these things? You see where I'm going? 25 bridges to be built in Buxton. Thousands or millions of BM, board measurements, of lumber to be used to build these 25 bridges. Is any black person benefiting from that lumber sale? Yeah, I'll ask you that. And since the material is a greater part of the investment, the greater part of the investment is leaving Buxton. It's not staying here. The greater part of the investment is going somewhere to develop other people. But the records will show that $56 million was spent on bridges in Buxton. Y'all do that kind of analysis? Anybody does? I guess y'all don't. Y'all don't. Sometimes they're too smart for my own good. Because one of them will come question just now. Everything you see, race. You're a racist. Economics is race in this country. Look at where your money goes. Look at hundreds of millions that was just invested in Cricket Carnival. Who are the people who walked away with the money? How many of them look like us? I see they say Guyana has recorded the highest arrival rates in September. so far because of Cricket Carnival and everything else. Who owns the big hotels? Assuming that these people stayed at hotels. Who is benefiting? Y'all think about that. I don't have all the answers. Just like prayer doesn't have an answer for the education system. Just like prayer doesn't have an answer for the education system, let's start a movement. Hashtag fire satire girl. Hashtag fire satire girl, the minister of miseducation. An arrogant fool who doesn't listen to the people who have been in the system since Noah was a boy and knows how the system operates. For example, they know the capacity of their schools. Their head teachers know the capacities of their schools. The head teachers know where their schools are lacking. But Sitara Gyal and the newly minted education officers and inspectors and so on that she pulled out of classrooms, underqualified as they are, think they know best. And so what is the result? Grade 7 children are now attending school on a shift system to start with. Shift system. Grade 7 children attending school on a shift system. Right? Attending school on a shift system. Grade 7 children. What do you think that is all? Some of them attending school in tents. Since this is not a job, I ain't ever going to look for the photograph. Yeah, I got imagination. Can you imagine the big army tents? Grade 7 children are attending class in tents. Any of you can remember the 3 sheep pens? Who can tell me what the 3 sheep pens refer to? Who can tell me what the 3 sheep pens refer to? Y'all answer in the chat. You see, it's important to understand history if you're going to go forward and make sense of going forward. Right? Because if you understand the history of this government, the people in the PPP, then you will not be surprised to learn that your children are now attending school in tents. So let me remind you all in case you don't know, or in case you don't remember. The 3 sheep pens, I think they're still there. I might be wrong. But they were at the corner of Brickdam and Kams Street. Brickdam and Kams Street. That's where you find the 3 sheep pen. Brickdam and Kams Street. Why did we call them the three sheep pen? Those structures were built. There's an image of the tent. Your children attending boot camp. Right? Your children attending boot camp. Look at what they're housing. First thing to recognize there is that ventilation is an issue. Second thing to understand is heat is going to murder those children in there. Third thing to understand is, in a time when we are concerned about monkeypox and COVID still, it is most inhumane, it is most stupid, it is most uncaring to house people's children under those unhealthy conditions for learning. Learning is not likely to take place because they will be discomforted. But I guess the Tyra gal is the best minister of education, working under the best president. And our children are getting the best conditions to be schooled under. Because I don't see parents kicking up a stink about your children having to attend school in shift system. I guess they're preparing them for security jobs. So they're teaching them shift from an early age. Because some people seem to believe that that is all some people are good for, security. So let us teach them how to work shifts and let us teach them how to live in tents. Because check and see, the majority of the children who are being affected by this nonsense. Check and see the majority of the children who are being affected and the neighborhoods where people's children are placed to attend school on shift system and in tents. Check and see that. And tell me if this apartheid government is not deliberating their doings. You tell me that. And then come back and let us talk about whether or not this autistic man is the best president that this country has had. In worse financial times than these, I've never seen the education system brought to this level. Never. In worse financial times. Somebody talked nonsense this morning that Forbes Bottom thief and put the country under financial stress. Those who know history, those who can read, those who have the ability to think and come out of the gutter of the trenches. They'll understand the challenges faced by Guyana. In that same period of time when they say Forbes Warner was thieving. Up to now they can't uncover the wealth. Right? But even when he was thieving, according to them, we had an education system second to none in the Caribbean. We had the highest literacy rate in the Caribbean. Now they ain't thieving. The people being thieving. You got a minister who doesn't know the difference of parts of speeches. Parts of speech. Doesn't know preposition from pronouns. You have a president, the best president as a matter of fact, who cannot pronounce the word reparative. Good morning, how may I help you?
Hello, morning, Kalaki.
Good morning, how may I help you?
Yeah, you got no program today?
Yes, check on YouTube for Kams TV.
On YouTube? Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks.
I will take calls like that for the rest of the day, along with the complaints. That's a part of my job. Furthermore, the lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. Let's get on with the program. 6225933 is the number to call. Call and talk your mind. Cuss me and all. Because I don't cuss. I ain't enabling. I ain't enabling. I ain't enabling. Tired and fed up. I'm being tired and fed up. Thank you for this view, this image. Somebody sent me an image here. Yeah, look at it. I'm tired and fed up of being tired and fed up. But guy isn't tired and fed up at all. He like the punishment. Look at the conditions under which your children are attending school. And the question is asked, why poor people children have to suffer? No classroom. The makeshift classrooms have no light. Place dark and hot. How can learning take place under these conditions? I just asked the same question. I just asked the same question. Y'all answer it for me. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Right? 3 sheep pens they had constructed at the corner of Camp and Brickdam for the children of St. Mary's. Those sheep pens were built by a U.S. Army project, I think it called New Horizons. They don't want to build them anymore. So they bring tents equivalent to the same size with the same conditions of hardship. Y'all could be real in this country. Poor children going to school, well, the children of the oppressors are going to school, some of them in air-conditioned buildings and classrooms. And y'all don't see anything wrong with that. Nothing. Parents are not in front of these schools demanding better. Parents are not in front of the Ministry of Education demanding better. I wonder where the teachers' union is. Because I think they would demand that their teachers don't go into those makeshift structures to teach children. It's against the occupational health and safety rules because it doesn't meet the minimal conditions for safe workplace. Claudia James says she blames the teachers too. I blame the parents too. We like back the burden on everybody else except myself. Them teachers, them graduate, some of them got master's degree. It is our children who have to learn under those conditions. Can they learn under those conditions? If not, then the onus is on us to stand up and demand better. Right? The owner says, you see, people don't understand partnerships. Or they have no respect for partnership. They think it's a one-way street. Teachers alone are responsibility. But what are the teachers' responsibility? The teachers' responsibilities are to teach. Are the teachers there to teach? Yes, they are. Government responsibility is to provide adequate plant facilities. That's what they call the schools, plant facilities. They have to provide adequate plant facilities for the teachers to work in. Government responsibilities are to provide adequate plant facilities for students to attend school. Parents' responsibilities are to send their children to school. In a suitable environment. And so if you have a situation where the plant facilities are not adequate and conducive to learning for the children, parents must stand up and protest against it. If the plant facilities are inadequate for the proper delivery of content on behalf of the teachers and is unsafe for them to work in, teachers must stand up and protest against it. But no, everybody wants somebody else to bail the cat. The cat gonna live long. Long live the PPP. Long live poor education systems and services. While all of us backballing, maybe our brain is on our the hindmost part of our bodies. Because we just keep bending over and taking what they give you and blame somebody else for it. I blame the teachers. Where are the parents? These children dropped from coconut tree. The parents dumb. Lines we made home. If you're hauling and talk, I got things to do. I've done my part. Same thing I tell y'all. Rajendra Rajkumar just come out of the gutter. He says that dead AP and US is no Rajkumar, you lie. I'm alive and well. You at home? Look to your left and see what you see. Ask them if I'm alive or dead. If you're looking for who dead, you could check Anil. He ain't got a C to his name. Poor Anil. He ain't got a C to his name. You know they got some walking deads? Check Anil. I love to hear the voice of my daughter. Daddy, please spend more at school. Daddy, please bring lunch to me. Daddy, don't forget I got lessons this evening. Daddy, there's that man who dead. You gotta check Anil. Ask if anybody ever called you daddy. Hey, just now Rajkumar might get a Douglas niece and nephew hollering, I wonder where my daddy there. I gotta go to BUXTON for my daddy. Right, Rajkumar? Don't come wrong me funny. I ain't dead. Because when your black hair is a big threat, that's why I can't stand. Y'all call it racism. Call it life. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kadaki, and everyone. Well, I learned the thing yesterday. You could share, but today I didn't understand it. But I'm going to get it hang it. Yes, moving along. First of all, I am conveying condolence to the boy who I think they had to pull the plug on him. I was in town on Friday coming out to Georgetown when I saw people running with to an ambulance by the fire service. Because, well, I know what happened. As soon as I see the confusion, I had way to come on because I don't like to be in confusion. Anyway, I learned that it passed. Now with this school system, lots of people are sending their children to private school. I'm not annoyed with them, but the masses go to the public school. And when you see they are giving out cash grants, these people who can afford to send the children into these glass houses for school fight down for money. Now there is a glass house that was constructed on the western end of Crane, the public road going into Crane from the western end, that's from Perica end. And that building is a fully constructed building of glass with a little bit of ACs. There is one of the chain hospitals, Sheriff, is being built. And the ceiling, when you look at it, outside the engineers will do a calculation to the size of the building. How many persons should be housed in this building, an estimate. And because of the estimate, you will take the tallest person, you give them 7 feet, and you build above that 7 feet, you might add about 5 feet to the ceiling. So you got a distance from floor to top plate, like 12 feet. The reason for that is that the extra 5 feet, the air that is there, once the building is full, should be clean air that everyone could breathe in. Now with the buildings that are being built in Guyana, they are not having any form of ventilation. They are sheer glass buildings. They put few ACs. Now having AC in a low building, a small area, feet height building, it is that you are going to be circulating the same air coming from everybody. Now COVID is out there, and once you are wearing a mask to try to protect yourself, you put up the feelers that this is an airborne disease, that you're going to breathe it in. Now with this scenario, and you're building sheer glass buildings, and then you're housing children, you're housing teachers, what are you doing to those persons who are supposed to be spending from 9 to 3 o'clock in those buildings? It's how they're destroying itself. So I don't know what could happen. And I believe, I don't want to call nobody name, but the school that is in Crane there, it's being owned by a teacher. Now moving along, I saw where the petition has regained life and it can be heard in the courts. Well, I hope we get a speedy date and we could move on. And I would like to thank the faithful few. We are still making inroads in the country. And I hope all the Laybackians who care up themselves to go to Carnival and Montana and all them big bad show and wouldn't come out to stand in solidarity to us can still see that we are doing something. And when your period of mourning is over, you just call and I will be there. I am going to be there. And let me know the date of the funeral so I can attend. Don't say funeral today for today.
Funeral is Sunday.
No, so I could gather.
Funeral is Sunday.
Bye-bye. Huh?
Funeral is Sunday, I was just told.
Okay, all right, I'll be there. All right, bye.
Good. So let me address a jackass named Rajinder. They just come in and shape some farms. Rajinder the jackass says, I don't like progress. Call up. The jackass brain, and he brain all morning. It said, I don't like progress. Right? I don't like progress. Can you show me progress, and progress to who? How can it be progressive when a country that is flush with oil money has to house its students in classrooms that are overcrowded? Number one. Number two, how is it progressive when in 2022 a country that is flush with oil money still has its children sitting 2 and 3 in a bench, rubbing shoulders with each other, breathing in each other's faces in a classroom? What about combination chairs, individual seating, and desks? How is it progressive when in 2022 children have to attend school on a shift system after having stayed home, having been forced to stay home for an entire month since the term started? What progress are we talking about, Rajkumar? I know you repaired the school building, you didn't go into school. Because you don't even have the basic ability to reason. How could this be progress? Take a good look. And in case you can't recognize what I'm saying, this is a teacher. I don't know if the mouse is showing on the screen. I hope it is. No, it's not. But there's one teacher standing there with these children. It was how can one teacher supervise all of these children? Your children on the stairways, coming all the way down. The teacher is addressing a small number of them, or she's directly in front of a small number of them, and the others are doing their own thing. A student is on a cell phone. Can you see? Another two of them gaffing. Several of them looking in the opposite direction to the teacher. Y'all tell me it's progress, Rajkumar. And y'all tell me now. Jackass Rajkumar talking about Mingo in 2022. That boat is sailed. This got to be one of them all dinner day coolie. When you look at them, you see racism. Anthropologists will never recognize progress if it hits them in the face. You will never recognize ignorance, thievery, and racism when it hits you in the face. I don't know when you have some of you are going to come out to the gutter. Listen. It's 8:30. I'm ready to go. I got work to do. Can't always spend the time trying to educate trenches. That's it, the any voice notes. Listen, I can't deal with this every morning, honestly. Okay, so the lines are open. If you don't have a call to make or you don't want to WhatsApp a voice note, it's time for me to leave. Sometimes the brother just got to cut and run instead of waste time with some people. But I want you to send prayer back to school. I want you to send the Dunstan president back to school. They ain't nothing but problem solving. I tell you all this before I leave. I want to get, I'm going to try to get Royce Ford to come on to Thursday morning's program, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, Carrie Perry, you could continue courting me. I think it's going to be better if you send one of your female family members. Assuming that they're good looking and they work the wife. So, you don't come, don't court me, Carrie. According to your mentality, black man like woman. You could send one of them to see if they're going to get through. Back to what I was saying. Did I forget or remember what I was saying? I was saying that I'll try to get Royce Ford to come on Thursday because tomorrow is Dr. Hinds. And let us talk about the significance of that appeal court ruling that the petition must go through. The petition must be heard. I think the date set for it to start is the 1st of November or something like that. So I tried to get Senior Counsel Royce Ford to come and let's talk about the significance of that. I like to y'all. I don't quite frankly hold my breath for these things. Right? I don't hold my breath for these things. But it's good that the court has ruled. We have to see the rate at which the petition is going to be heard. About who is the sitting judge? I wonder. Oh, excuse me. Who is the sitting judge in this one? Are going back to Roxanne? He gone back to Roxanne? I hope not. But it will seem as though it's only Roxanne he got. She's the election judge, eh? So it would seem. But we have to continue to discuss these things. We have to continue to discuss these things and see where they will lead. Like I said, you have to fight on all legs at the same time. Some will fight in the court, some will fight in the streets, some will fight in parliament. You have to fight in all legs. That's how you win. You can't put all the eggs in one basket and expect to come out victorious. Good? 26 minutes to 9. I'm going to ask you one more time. Ensure you share the information with other viewers, people you know or usual regular viewers. Tell them they can check on YouTube for Kams TV to find the program. They can also check Facebook, see if they can find Kams TV on Facebook. I created a page last night, so they will find the program there also. And on Facebook, they can check for Society for African Guyanese Empowerment, SAGE, S-A-G-E. And that's the page I'm using to broadcast on. Right? Much as I can do. Call it live. Good morning.
Good morning, Kadaki. I'm looking forward for this petition to be aired. But I know Roxanne Judge, she has the power to look at the case again. But if you look at the timeline, she was the one who was solely responsible for the late application to the appeals court because she promised to give a written decision, which she did not, and so far she has not even done it. She just gave them the word of mouth with a little statement and promised to give in final writing the totality of what our decision was. And so far she hasn't done so. And that is what impeded Risedale Ford and company from making an early move to the court. And if you look at it from the response yesterday, Winseed Adil is so much of a loser. And by extension, the senior counsel from Trinidad, Mendez, he seemed to have outlived his usefulness. He is no longer making sense with his arguments. So Risedale Ford just gave them a thrashing yesterday, and the thrashing will continue because the law will be the law. But make no mistake, Roxanne George is facilitating the foolishness because she did it on purpose not to give credence to her final write-up or decision, and that hindered the process from going forward fast enough. Had she done what she was supposed to do, that decision would have been made ever since, and PPP may not have had the wherewithal to have the president dancing like a jackass on the stage. He would have been trying to get his act together with the 19 fraud charges in his face again. I'm looking forward, and I'm looking forward assiduously to make sure things go in the direction it's supposed to go. They have no legs to stand on. And that is what they are fighting in earnest to get out of the way. That is why they are fighting to keep you blocked. Because they know you keep it on the fire, keep that stuff on the burner, and they can't take it anymore. When you see people like Critic is on the air 24/7 doing as he does nonsense, and nothing happens to him, but people who give powerful information for the masses to understand, they want to get rid of them. But we know that has a short life. Things will turn around. All we have to do is keep pressing on. Thank you, Kadaki. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you for your call. Again, a lot of these people can do as they do because we allow them to do it. Kudos to the legal team, Risedale Ford and others, for approaching the court and saying, listen, we want this thing dealt with alacrity. We are tired of sitting and waiting on the Chief Justice to give our written judgment. Right? Could this have been done earlier? I'm not saying they ought to have done it earlier, but couldn't it have been done earlier? Or they gave the Chief Justice the benefit of the doubt? You know, black people, not black people, people in general like to put it in writing. I want to see it in black and white. And every time you tell people put it in black and white, is then you realize they got a problem with putting it. Because it's easy to say it is so. Because the word, the spoken word, disappears with the wind. After that is you say, I say, she say, he say. But when you put it in black and white, it is there. And so Roxanne knows very well why she wasn't and still hasn't put it in black and white. But now that the appeal has to go forward, the petition has to go forward, are we going to see it in black and white? Or judgment? Right? Because if you don't have a judgment in black and white, then what are you arguing against, really? What she said that you hear that she didn't say? Those are the challenges we face. And again, I'm saying that these things are allowed to happen in this society because Guyanese are too laid back. Nobody takes a fight in front of these judges' homes and in front of their offices and disrupt the peace. So they can do a bundle of foolishness. Got a society in chaos, but they're resting peacefully. Right? Y'all think about that. I can't still. 20 minutes to 9 o'clock. I can do a lot with 20 minutes. Got money to make. Oh, I see a voice note.
Lucky, good morning. Let me just say this. You know, when you listen and you look around and see what's going on, Indian people, some of them, the very lazy ones in the mentality that if somebody say A, they will say A too. They always have that perception, you know, that well, because it's not their color or not whatever, they're not wrong. They're always wrong.
Hi. Um, 10 o'clock would be good, you know, Avinash. Good.
Right. And let me tell you, those same people that you see talking, they're suffering terribly. But you know what? They don't want to accept it because it's the kind that's suffering them. And they're prepared to suffer under them. Well, I have to say to them today that let them continue to suffer under them. But don't see us, the other race, as being stupid. We are not stupid people. We're seeing everything that is going on. And we know the right. We know the truth. And we will, at some time, overcome it. Because we're seeing everything that the PPP is doing in this country. And those who want to bury their heads in the sand, as if it's not happening, their time will come. The time will come. I hope they can face it. You know, when you look at these people just love us for our strength. The doctor, that is an African Guyanese, the nurse, the teacher, we're all good people when we can teach your children, we can look at your sick, and we could grind the wheels. But other than that, we're not good people. We don't know about money, how they operate, as if we doesn't know about money. The economical part, we doesn't know about it. But you all have something to catch up with. It's coming for y'all people. Coming for y'all people. Y'all know yourself, and y'all know what y'all doing, and y'all know a time will come, a change will come. That's all I have to say about money. By the economical part, we doesn't know about it. But
yeah, that's what they see us as servants. Public servants and civil servants and servants. We can only serve. But we have no entitlement to the fruits of our labor. It must not be worth the while, right? Anyways, like I tell y'all, I'm going already, man. I ain't got too much time with y'all. I ain't got too much time with y'all. I ain't gonna sit here and wait for phone calls and so on and so forth. I've done my part. I've shared the information I have. I've discussed. I have analyzed. I've cussed out and so on. Y'all could have a good day. But let's close off with Muta Baruka. Muta Baruka. He was at the Spice World Festival a long time ago.
Okay, it's a serious thing because Kentucky put the dead animal parts in some overgrown box. And it have a little guy upon it. Them call him the Colonel. You ever notice say, no care where you turn, the Colonel will look by you? It's true. If you go that way, the Colonel just slip like that. And you try to dodge the Colonel and just look by you. So black people start to eat them Sunday dinner out of these oversized boxes with these little dead animal parts, sitting down on the sofa that them don't finish paper, watching this television with white people doing all sorts of things on it. It's a serious thing. So there was a time when we used to sit down around dining table. Remember dining table? Anybody have dining table at them house still? When last you sit down on it? Black people don't sit down on dining table again. Black people stand up and eat out of oversized box. Black people sit down and watch television with white people and do all sorts of things on the television. And it makes sex look terrible. You ever notice when two white people agree to one another, like wife, the woman, the father come home and say, honey, I'm home. And when you reach inside, him to tear off, him chill out clothes and him a tear off this and him a lick up on the wall. And sex them have, you know. It make me feel like I want to be celibate when we watch them kind of thing there. But it's a weird thing because the family is sitting down watching all of these things, you know. The black family, the mother, the father, sister, brother, little dog. If you have a rat in your house, no problem. And the television is there deciding what you will think and what will you do and how you will behave. Because most of it is a psychological implant. So they have, for instance, now this love, this murder show. There was a time when they used to edit out certain things out of a movie, you know. Them not edit things again out of a movie, you know. The gross side is editing. So the black family is sitting down and watching white people, as usual, going on with them antics. So, picture this. Man gone to work, woman bringing another man upstairs in the bedroom and go on with them things. The man come home, honey, I'm home. All him can hear is pantering and the door, the bed and the thing are going. And him say, in her mind, him think says, a man, no, black people in Jamaica don't have basement. We have house bottom. White people have basement. And when you go down to the basement, it's all the accoutrement them that them keep down there, including the electric saw. And the husband is going for the electric saw because him hear things upstairs that him not supposed to be hearing. But him don't turn on the electric saw. Him take time creaking upstairs. Because them house they always have upstairs, you know. Black people house don't usually have upstairs. It's just flat. Just like how you ever say, them horror movie where white people are run up and down at the house. We don't run up and down in a house when the house haunted. White people stay in the house when the house haunted. Black people move out of the house when the house haunted. The least little sound we hear, come, make a share you over your grandmother. Gone. White people in there, oh, did you hear that? Oh, and it's madness. And them are, you ever notice how them white people are running on them house, it come like it's a holiday in? Like them can't reach the end of the house, and them can't reach out. Them just run and them goes around them down, and them run and you say, wow, what a big house. Black people don't have the leisure of those houses. From here around, you just run outside. Simple, we're not staying in the house. But picture this now, the man go upstairs, because when you go upstairs, you know, one of the floorboard always go creak. You ever creak, crack, you know, them. You ever notice it? Yeah, like him a creep go upstairs with the electric saw. And him kick the door, him go, turn on the electric saw, and him, two of them turn on by the bed. No, darling. And him go, and the blood run and blood splatter up to him face, and the man head roll down, step, kill the woman upon the road. No, darling, please. And him go, and the blood all over the place. And the black family is sitting down on the sofa that them never pay for, with the oversized Kentucky box, with whole heap of dead animal parts tonight, with them family, enjoying it on a Sunday evening. Watching the gore, and the blood, and the gore, and the this and the that. And the black family is enjoying it. It's a subliminal, psychological madness. But, picture the next scene. The man say, honey, I'm home. Nobody's upstairs but the wife. Why is it that these white people always going to bed with them shoes on? You can't do that in my house, you know. At least not in my house. You can't have on your shoes in the bed. But the white woman is always going into the bathroom when she hear her husband come. She go in the bathroom. And she go change. And she has change in something you can't sit through. The black family is sitting down there with the sofa that them don't pay for. The oversized Kentucky box with all the dead animal parts in it. Watching this scene we're going to play out now. And the man, and she say, honey, I'm up here. And the man said, wow, this time the floor don't creak. Because I'm going to run, go upstairs now. Boof, boof him, kick off shoes and tear off him clothes. As him go into the bed, so hear the father, the black father. Sharon, you don't have any homework to do. Go and do your homework. Tony, I have some ice water. Go get me some ice water now. You don't want the child to see the sex scene, but you sit there and watch the gore and the blood and the beheading of the chainsaw, and you wonder how the youth them grow up to really sensitize themselves against sex, but is always in this violence and blood gore. And you as a parent, how is that possible? Who can we blame? Not the television, because you sit down in front of it. You can't do it without sitting down in front of it. You can't go read a book. You can't sit down around the dining table where parents used to talk. Children don't get talked to anymore. Them talk to them iPod and blot out everything that you saying. Just like the little girl I saw a while ago with the two people them. Let me talk to her or something and she said, oh, I did have my iPod in my ears and I never hear what you're saying. That was so funny, trust me. But it's a serious thing. So this way of life has taken hold of black people so much that now we don't even know what is wrong and what is right. Because even the parents them don't know what to teach them children anymore. Because them teach picnic them and them teach we about Jack and Jill. Now, nobody get Jack and Jill as a homework. Nobody say go home and go study Jack and Jill. Like Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. But we just automatically know it. Nobody teaches these things. I refuse to believe that these European people were so stupid that to write about an egg sitting on a wall, jump, coming out fight every minute, going back on it, coming out fight every minute, and we learn it by heart. First time Jack and Jill used to run up the hill every day. Now them get pipe and water rate increase. Every day they would have reincarnate Humpty Dumpty if we fall off the wall. Little boy Blue, who loved to blow him on to the sheep in the meadow. Little boy Blue grew up now and the sheep them get curried in a little cold supper shop down the street. You remember when
Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day. Join Dr. Hinds tonight. Dr. Hinds will be on tonight with Politics 101. Those of you who will be looking for the show should look for it on Politics 101 on Facebook Live. Politics 101 on Facebook Live. That's where you'll find the show tonight. I don't know if we'll be able to get it to stream to YouTube, but I'll explore that possibility. But for now, it's Politics 101 on Facebook Live. I'll also try to share it on the pages. I don't know, the new Kams TV page. If you look for that, you may be able to see there also. But have a good day. I remember Club Twilight is going to be hosting Old School Thursdays from the 13th of October. And you will have karaoke on demand. DJ Bishop and Selected Delta will be in the house along with Kams Audio. And of course, Club Twilight is located at Sideline and Buxton North. So come on down, and they're home daily. So you can come down even this evening. You can come down and have some cold ones and have some fun. If you want to sing karaoke any day of the week, you just come and ask for it, and it's available. Have a good one. Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in once more.